Another day, another box score watching episode. We're at episode number 48, and as we always do, we will debate and talk about every game that happened today in the NBA. And if you enjoy this type of content, leave a like, leave a comment about your, what are your thoughts about some teams, some games, and send me your favorite memes. Link to my socials down below, and like and subscribe. And let's get into it. Orlando against the Clippers first. I don't know who should I actually start with here, but I'll start with the Clippers, I guess. Somebody made this reference, and well, we all can see it. Kawhi obviously is not gonna be the same instantly, as he has missed a year and a half basically, and has not played consistent basketball for about that time, and it's just showing. Kawhi just looks a tad bit too slow right now, and hopefully he can actually play this year and get consistent minutes and consistently play, and we'll see if he is actually just slower or if it's just getting back to the basketball shape. But right now he's looking painfully slow, and it's showing. He still played solid basketball, 14-7-3, but obviously it's not the Kawhi that we know. And the same goes for Paul George. He doesn't look slow out there, but he looks out of shape a little bit. Just not comfortable up there on the court, and he had 11-7-5 today. But as long as they play and are not getting any injuries anymore, I think the Clippers will be finer than usual. The starters were excellent today. Reggie Jackson the only exception, and the bench didn't help overall. Terrence Mann was okay. Not okay, he was really great offensively, 19-9, but the defense was just not it with these guys on the court. Reggie Jackson chucked up too many shots, and well, for everyone's liking, they didn't have Norman Powell and John Wall, which obviously are two pieces that are really good, both great off the bench. And it showed today where the Magic got a huge win that they didn't need, obviously, but they are finally playing a little bit better. They were in a rough stretch where they weren't even in games that much and were just getting destroyed on the court. But Mo Wagner started once again. He had 20 and 13. Franz Wagner didn't play that well, but he was really good down the stretch with those floaters. Paolo gets to the line, he just gets his numbers, which is all you want to see. He's not efficient as of right now, he's not playing the smoothed basketball you would like, but he still gets 23, 5 and 2, 2 steals, just 2 turnovers, and and it's only gonna get better, you think, right? And we all feel like it's only gonna get better with him. Bol, 29, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Sensational game from Bol. 9 of 14 from the field. I love to see it, especially for my fantasy, and it's great. And last but not least, I want to touch upon the Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, who are now in their fourth game back, I think third, and it's been a roller coaster so far for both of them. And neither of them has had a good game simultaneously, and Cole Anthony today was the better of the two, and he wasn't great. He didn't shoot efficiently, but he had 13, 4 and 4 and was solid out there. Markelle, on the other hand, didn't make a shot, missed a free throw down the stretch, and had just 1 point. We'll see how these two, we'll continue to monitor these guys to see where they are in about 10 games, right? We move on to Brooklyn as the Nets get another win against the Hornets today. And it felt like the Nets were gonna get an easy win and a blowout, and it was like that for most of the game. And then it was really close, thanks to the Hornets just always fighting back, being in those games. But the Nets eventually did put it away, with Kyrie scoring 33 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 blocks for Kyrie, which is insane. KD 29, 9 and 8, the usual stuff from KD. You got Seth Curry off the bench with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and just overall a good win, even though that was a scare and the defense is obviously not where you want it to be. They are still missing Ben Simmons, who should return on Friday, but nonetheless they keep getting wins, which is all that matters right now. What would I do for a win against the Hornets as a Warriors fan? Yeah, so the Hornets on the other hand, I really gotta give it to them because I love their energy, man. They're just being in these games, keep fighting. Terry Rozier, 29 points on 24 shots. Great game from him. Kelly Oubre, 28 and 8. Mason Plumlee continues to be surprisingly very solid this season. 13, 11, and 5. He was really good out there. PJ Washington had 12, 5, and 7. 5 of 13, not the greatest shooting night from him, but he's been inconsistent this year with the shot. And Jalen McDaniels, really good game from him, 19, 7, and 3. The bench did them in today. Nobody on the bench did anything for them. And, well, they didn't even play that much, right, when you see the playing time. So, and they continue their climb in the Wembanyama rankings, right? So that's all that matters for them. They don't need to win anyway, right? Then we move to Madison Square Garden, where the Hawks were playing, which we all know the history there with Trae Young, the playoff series and everything, and they blew out the Hawks. What obviously helped them is that DeJounte Murray had to leave the game with an ankle sprain or an ankle injury. I'm not sure what it actually is because I couldn't find anywhere if, he's going to be out longer or anything. There were no reports that I could find. He just didn't return to the game, so that of course didn't help the Hawks cause, and they are in a bit of a slump, or how you want to call it, weird period right now where things are kind of awkward in there. There are a lot of tensions, and it has to be resolved at some point because they're gonna fall down these standings, and that's not what they want because they were started off really good. Trae just 19 and 6, didn't make a three-pointer. One of the more efficient nights from him otherwise. Clint Capella 13 and 11, but he couldn't do anything defensively enough because, well, they didn't have anyone else playing that much defense. A.G. Griffin, a couple of rough rookie games, that's gonna happen. The bench didn't provide anything that much either. Bogdanovic getting back into shape, 18% from the field, 3 of 16 is just nasty, of course, but he has to get back into shape somehow, and, well, they got blown out anyway, so I don't think, if he hit 10 threes, then they would have maybe won, right, but I don't think it's a bad game for him to just shoot, right? Shout out with Krejci, my guy, 14 minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steals, and 2 threes. Shout out to my guy from the Czech Republic. And on the Knicks side, you get Julius Randle's best game of the season, I'm pretty sure. 34, 17, and 5, 6 threes, 10 of 19 from the field, plus 29, no turnovers, an incredible game from Julius Randle. Quentin Grimes was sensational, 23 points from him. Jalen Brunson didn't even play that well, 2 of 14, but it didn't matter today because they were just simply better than the Hawks, and they get a good win at home and are looking to trade Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish. I'll probably make a video about some trade rumors that has been going around with my, trade machine ideas, and we'll see what I come up with, but I'm not certain what you can get for these guys and who would actually want those two guys together because there are rumors about them being bundled up together. Then you have the Raptors blowing out the Lakers, as the Lakers were without AD and LeBron on this back-to-back. Really not much to say here for the Lakers. Lonnie Walker couldn't hit anything. He was minus 37. Dennis Schroeder continues to get back into shape, and he's been playing solid basketball, so that's a good thing for them. That's what they need. The same goes for Thomas Bryant, who had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And if he's going to keep playing like this, it's a really good sign for them off the bench. Kendrick Nunn also did something off the bench. Maybe they can finally start getting something from him. And the Raptors get a win that they needed. OG Anunoby had 23.6 rebounds. Pascal Siakam had 25, 10, and 7 on 10 of 20. Fred VanVleet, 25.7 assists, 4 rebounds. He played solid. Still, he is in a bit of a shooting slump, but at least today he put up the numbers. Scotty Barnes at 13.17 rebounds, 4 assists. That's okay, but he's still been underwhelming. Still been really weird out there. The bench was really good. You got Gary Trent with 18. You got Chris Boucher with 16 and 7. So a great win for these Raptors as they, stabilize themselves more. Hopefully Fred VanVleet will go out of his shooting slump. Pascal Siakam continues to ball out like he has been all season, and they'll be fine. Then we have the Eastern Conference Battle of the Mid, because you got the Bulls against the Wizards. And let's start with Washington instantly. We got another guy who's going to be in a lot of trade rumors, which is Kyle Kuzma, because he has 1 year left on his contract with a player option, and yeah, they want him traded from what we've been hearing in the rumor lately. They were without Bradley Beal once again, and it's a rough loss because they've been pretty solid. I enjoyed Porzingis this year. He didn't shoot the ball as well. He couldn't hit a 3 today, but he still got to the free throw line 16 times and was really okay. 28, 9, 4, 2 steals, 2 blocks. You want to cut down on these turnovers, of course, but he's been really solid. The same goes for Kyle Kuzma. Danny Avdija has been inconsistent for sure, but they've been playing really okay basketball, but they just can't stay healthy. Bradley Beal has been in and out the lineup a lot. You had Porzingis out for a couple of games, you had Kuzma out for a couple of games, you get some other guys out for a couple of games, and they are just out there. We'll see if they trade Kuzma or not. I'll make a video, as I said. And, rough loss away from home against the Bulls, who were kind of desperate. They needed more wins. They need to, do something, because I'm not sure there is a reset button for these Bulls, right? How would you trade everyone? What would you get back? Patrick Williams has not been, the future you would want him to be. Even though today he was really solid with 11 and 3 rebounds, but it's not like a future that you see from him. You could see him being a solid role player right now, but you don't see him being that guy, but not soon enough at least for this team to work. Zach LaVine finally getting back into more of a shape, more of a feel that he was giving throughout these last few years. He was 5 of 9 from the 3-point line. He's been shooting better. He's been looking better. Hopefully that continues. Just gotta cut down on these turnovers, Zach. And Nikola Vucevic had 25 and 11, one of his best games of the season. I would say he was really solid. DeMar had 27. All three guys in double digits. All three hit 20. Really good games from them. The bench didn't contribute that much, but they got it done eventually. Then we move on to Memphis, as the Grizzlies are now 16 and 9, one game back of first in the West, and beat the Thunder. And this was actually a really fun game, back and forth game, and both teams were in it, but then the Grizzlies got separated in the third quarter, where Ja Morant was sensational. He had like 16 or 14 points in the third quarter, and the Thunder just didn't have enough today, as no one could really hit anything, especially in the starting lineup. They shot just 37% from the field. The 3-point shooting was pretty solid, but they couldn't hit anything else. And shout out to Memphis' defense also, because they made it really tough on them with Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, Jake LaRavia, Brandon Clark. They all made it really tough on them. And Shea, one of his least efficient games of the season. He still got to the free throw line a lot. He had 26 and 7, but 5 turnovers, 4 of 14, not one of his better games. Josh Giddey 10 and 4, not one of his better games. Just nobody in the starting lineup really showed up today. Poku was solid, I suppose, from the starting lineup, but nobody else really showed up. The bench was okay, but they just couldn't get it done with the starters stinking it up like this, right? And the Grizzlies were really good also. The defense was sensational. They got the triple-double from Jazz. He had 26, 13, and 11. 8 of 16 from the field, and he basically closed it out in the third quarter, where he pulled away. And, well, the Grizzlies pulled away thanks to him a lot, and they closed it out in that fourth quarter quite easily. Dylan Brooks, one of his most efficient nights, 24 points on 19 shots. Jaren, 12 points, 5 blocks. He's been great so far this season, and he's still, just getting back. He's been back for like 7 to 8 games, I feel like, and, he's been looking really solid, and just what they, hoped he would return as. Santi Aldama with 14, 5, and 3 off the bench. Brandon Clark with 17 and 8 off the bench. The bench was sensational today, and they got Zaire Williams back, who didn't shoot well, of course, but it's great to see him back for them. He still had 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and he was solid. And it's gonna be just better and better for them as they get more bodies back. They are still awaiting Desmond Bane, of course, and they are almost atop the Western Conference, so that's a scary sight. Next up, we have the Bucks against the Kings in what was a really good game, but in the end the Bucks pulled away in that fourth quarter and beat the Kings. And the Kings put up once again a good fight, but it kind of felt like the game against the Celtics, where they were in it, they were fighting back, they even got the lead a bit, and then they just got blown off the floor in that fourth quarter, where they just didn't have enough energy, didn't have enough talent, shot makers just didn't get it done. And they were solid, as I said, but they are just not at the level yet. They are right there, they're a playoff team, but they are just not on the Bucks or the Celtics level right now, right? And Today, once again, just showed it. Domantas Sabonis 23, 12, and 7, but he was really bad out there on defense. At least he got it done on the other end, but the defense was still horrendous, and everyone in the starting lineup didn't play that great of a defense. De'Aaron Fox, on the other hand, didn't play that good of offense, and he's not been as great these last couple of games, and it's been really weird for me as I've watched, from the outside and just watched the games. It felt like I didn't see him, I didn't feel his presence that much during this last week, which happens to every NBA player, but it's just feels like it's been for longer than a week. I'm sorry that I baffle on about this, but it feels like he's been off for 2 weeks at least right now. We'll see how he looks during this next week, I suppose. Malik Monk off the bench at 16 and 19 shots, not one of his better games. He still provided a really good spark plug out there, but it just, it wasn't falling for him tonight, especially from the 3-point line. But I would want to give props to Keegan Murray, who was really solid by my standards, and he looked, he doesn't look scared out there. We all knew that he was not going to be a rookie, but he was kind of, in a slump. I'm not sure if slump is the right word, but he was not shooting well. Tonight he was really solid out there offensively and giving them just what they needed. So we'll see how this Kings team looks the next time they play somebody, atop the conferences, whether it's New Orleans, Phoenix, whether it's the Grizzlies. We'll see how they look against these teams the next time, because they've not been great against these teams as of right now. But they are still a young team, and they got a long way to go in this season. So nothing to be that worried about, right? They will be just happy to make the playoffs, and if they get there, that's all that matters, which they are looking like they will. And for the Bucks, you got Giannis dominating 35, 6, and 7. He was 9 of 10 from the free throw line, which is sensational. You got Giroux, 31 points. He had all these 31 points in the throughout the third quarter. I feel like he didn't score in that fourth quarter even, and he still had 31 points, so that was a great game from him. Chris Middleton in his third game back was to 14, 6, and 6. Hit some tough buckets where they needed him to. He was 5 of 11, so shout out to him. And the Bucks overall were just better team. The starters just outplayed the starters of the Kings. That's all you have to say. The bench was still okay, and they didn't even get that much off the bench, right? It was just mostly the starters playing incredible basketball. Then as we move on to Minnesota, where the Timberwolves get a huge win over the Pacers, as they are now 500 and are now going to be going on a long road trip, so that's going to be interesting to see. And as I've talked about it in my video, the T-Wolves had these 2 games at home, and they are now heading on a rough road trip without Karl-Anthony Towns, so they needed this win, especially after the loss at home against against the Thunder, right? They lost against the Thunder last time they played, and they needed this one. They got it done. Rudy Gobert with his best game of the season, 16 points, 21 rebounds, that clutch block. He had 2 on the night, 3 steals, and he was much better out there. He needed this. He really needed this, because he has been really weird, really bad. Not really bad, but just weird and off-putting this year so far. And they got a huge win, much needed win. 6 of 12, 31 minutes, 16 and 21 as I said. Incredible game from him. D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards weren't too shabby themselves, as Anthony Edwards had 6 steals, 26 points, 8 assists and 8 rebounds, 8 of 18 from the field. And D'Angelo hit a lot of tough buckets in that fourth quarter, which he does a lot of times. He had 28 points. I still don't like his game that much for the Wolves, but at least he can hit those clutch shots in the fourth quarter most of the times. A lot of the times. And still solid production of the bench from Jalen Noel. He had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. A great game from him. You got Jordan McLaughlin, who really got them the momentum in that at the end of the third quarter, where he put them up. He tied the game, then he put them up at the start of the fourth quarter, and he was really good out there with his 6 points. You got Nas Reed bringing the energy of the bench, and just a much needed win before they go on this road trip against the Pacers team, who have been better. They beat my Warriors without their 2 best players, and those 2 best players played today, and they played great. You got Tyrese with 26 points, 15 assists, just 3 turnovers. Incredible game from him. He was 5 of 9 from the 3-point line. You got Miles Turner with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 threes. Buddy Hield had 26 points, 7 threes. Just incredible games from these 3 guys who were all missing. Benedict Mathurin has been slumping on this road trip so far, and it continued today with 14 points on 16 shots. and the bench overall just didn't give him anything, and that was a huge problem because the starters were solid except for Andrew Nembhard, and they just couldn't get it done. They were trailing in that first half a lot, and they got back into it. It felt like they were gonna get away with it, but Rudy Gobert blocked Buddy Hield at the end, and it was the end for the Pacers. Then we move on to New Orleans as the Pelicans secure another win, and they are now atop the Western Conference with the Suns losing, which we will get to later, as they beat the Pistons. And the Pistons are no slouch, man. The Pistons are no slouch. Without Bojan Bogdanovic, when he was struggling and he got ejected for, speaking too much, it felt like I didn't see anything else. And Marvin Bagley just laying the egg there. He was horrible today. The Pistons just keep fighting, man. They are incredible, I think. They are really resilient, and they were fighting back in this game. Sadiq Bey off the bench at 25 points. He was incredible. Jalen Duren had 12 and 13 off the bench. He was really solid out there. Killian Hayes continues his better play with 17 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and he's been looking much better. You can see it in him that he is just looking much better. And they fought back, they fought and fought, but couldn't get it done in the end because the Pelicans were just a better team. But I'm so impressed with the effort that these guys are putting out there without Kate, now today even without Bojan Bogdanovic for the second half. And they were down big in the first half where they got down like 16 points and it felt like they were going to get blown out. But they keep fighting, they just keep fighting and fighting. For the Pelicans side, you got Zion playing at an MVP level with 29, 10, and 5. He's been sensational throughout this stretch of, they are now with 5 wins in a row, I feel like. And he's been so sensational, man. Trey Murphy has been really great. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Then you got the other role players chiming in. Jonas Valanciunas was clutch down the stretch with 14 points, 12 rebounds. Najee Marshall had a great game today. He had 17 points, 5 boards, 6 of 7 from the field off the bench. And just an overall great play. And even with CJ McCollum really struggling lately, it feels like he's been struggling for the past month or so. And he even missed some games, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure he did. And yeah. So impressive from the Pelicans. Hopefully they get Brandon Ingram back sooner. I'm pretty sure they said he should be back on Friday where they play the Suns. Or I'm not sure if they were talking about him, but it feels like it. I don't know. We'll see on Friday, I suppose. I don't want to put misinformation out there. But hopefully they get him back sooner than later. Because they play the Suns twice, I think. They got the two games against the Suns back-to-back. Not on a back-to-back night, I think, but they are back-to-back, right? And we'll see how they fare against the Suns. Then we move on to my heartbreak as the Warriors blow a lead. Not a lead. They blow a 4-point lead with free throws and a lot of bad shit down there happening. Not defending and everything against the Jazz. They steal a victory from us, man. And I just don't get it. How do you blow the lead? It was a back and forth game. They stayed within the game. Then they got down like 11 in that fourth quarter. And they fought and fought back. Then they got the lead. They get the stop. Jonathan Kuminga gets the stop on Jordan Clarkson. Then you got the confrontation. You got the flagrant 2 foul. That shouldn't have been a flagrant 2. It should have been a flagrant 1. But what happened. Kuminga splits the free throws. You then turn the ball over. Clay gets it taken away. Then he blocks the shot and you get the free throws. Jordan Poole splits the free throws. His only miss on the night, he was 12 of 23 and it came down the stretch. It was a 4-point lead and Clay just stops defending for no reason, gives up the 3 to Malik Beasley. Then they turn it over on the inbound and they lose. And I think it was a foul on Jordan Poole, but you can't rely on, getting that foul instantly. And he gave the ball up way too easily. It was maybe because of the foul, but I don't know, man. It sucks. It really does suck a lot of ass. And Jordan Poole was otherwise really good. He had 36, 4, and 8, 6 turnovers. He didn't shoot that efficiently, but he was solid and clutch down the stretch otherwise, except that missed free throw and the lost ball. Those last 30 seconds just put away a great effort with the young guys playing great. Jonathan Kuminga was sensational. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, just 1 turnover, 10 of 13 from the field. Just a great game from him, and you just blow it in 30 seconds, man. Dante DiVincenzo off the bench at 7, 9, 7, and 3 steals. You got Moses Moody playing really well. He had 6 points, and he hit those 2 clutch threes in that fourth quarter. He defended well. You loved that from him after a rough first 3 quarters. He was sensational in that fourth quarter. And Clay was not great today. He gave up that 30. He was not shooting efficiently. He took too many shots today. It was kind of expected, but it shouldn't have come like this. It's just a frustrating loss, man. It's really it is. The Jazz still won as Malik Beasley had 18 points. He hit that 3 that sucked my heart almost. And Simone Fontecchio had 18 points. He hit the game-winning layup. He hits double digits for the second time this year in August, and it was against my Warriors, so that says something. Otherwise, everyone was pretty solid for them in the starting lineup. They played solid ball. The bench wasn't solid. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was, solid stat-wise, but he was getting picked on defensively, it felt like to me, and Rudy Gay also. So that was bad for them. And they were without Lauri Markkanen, let me say. And my Warriors were without Steph, Wiggins, and Draymond, which I didn't even mention. But I'm so disappointed in this game that I kind of even forgot about who was out and the context, because it was a free win and they just blew it. But shout out to the Jazz, man. They kept fighting and they stole this game deservedly. And last but not least, we got the Suns embarrassing themselves once again at home as the Celtics absolutely destroyed them. And this was over in the second quarter, man. The Celtics were up by 40 in the third quarter. We could have had the meme recreated where Chris Paul cuts down the lead to 39 or something with the three-pointer. That would have been hilarious. He was back for the Suns today, but they just were no match for these Celtics, man. Jason Tatum had 25, 5, and 2. Jaylen Brown had 25. He wasn't even that efficient, but they were just that much better, defended them so perfectly. The bench was sensational with Malcolm Brogdon having 16 on 7 of 9. You had Derek White coming in there, had 7.6 assists. You got Blake Griffin playing great basketball. Not great, but great for him. 100% for the Celtics. Grant Williams was great. Everyone was pretty much great. They got what they wanted. They got what they needed. They were even without Al Horford, right? So incredible win for the Celtics as the Suns get embarrassed at home. They shot 39% from the field. Pardon me, sorry. 40% from the field, 25% from the three-point line. They were getting clocked down. Shout out Josh Okogie, I guess. He was sensational off the bench with 28-7 in the garbage time that they played, essentially. It was all garbage time. And yeah, really rough loss. Chris Paul in his return had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers. The point guard baby is back. Of course, I'm gonna give him a little bit of a pass since he was out for a longer time. But it's fun to make fun of him, I'm sorry. I'm a Warriors fan, I'm gonna do that. Devin Booker had 17 on 17 shots, he wasn't great, and it's just not much to talk about here, right? That about does it, right? That about does it. And on Thursday's slate, we have, I think, 4 games finally? No, we still have 3 games, god damn it. Then it's next week. So we got the Clippers against the Heat. I feel like, Kawhi and PG both are not going to play on a back-to-back, so that's a bummer. You got the Rockets against the Spurs. The Rockets should win, but it could be maybe a fun one, at least a little bit. Wembanyama fight. And the Nuggets against the Blazers. Dame is playing, that should be a good one at least. I'll be here to cover it, don't you worry. And I'll see you all then. Like and subscribe. See you all tomorrow.